Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Old St. Andrews in our second of a new era, post-pandemic. I just want to talk about a couple guidelines for things. So hopefully our new speaker there is going to be distributing the sound. I've been told that it is, even though I'm a little concerned that my voice isn't coming through there, but that might actually be a good thing for people. So a couple things to note. First of all, if the guideline we're following as far as masks, if you're fully vaccinated, of course, we've been guided by greater powers than us that means you can go mask-free. If you're not fully vaccinated, I'm not going to ask for people's cards or anything, but I want people to know that if you're not fully vaccinated, there's still a vulnerability there, and you may want to wear a mask. There's no shame in that. There's no calling people out. I'm not going to say, oh, look, Corey's got a mask on. It's the simple fact that we're now in a place where being fully vaccinated is our best shot at moving further and further away from the coronavirus. So just know that. With that said, we also are now back to receiving communion. And the way I'm doing that is if you would like to receive communion, I will come by to your chair. I will have the bread. I'll have somebody, you had asked if I needed a chalice. I will need one. So whoever jumps up at the time can do that. A chalice will come along with me. I will have the bread. If you only want to just receive the bread, just say, just bread. And then if you want... Is the altar guild worried about something? Yeah, I have wine. The chalice is under here, right? Yep, it is. Yep, we're good. I got you covered. They were nervous. You could tell that they were, right, got to get on this. So I will come by. If you want just bread, that'll be from my clean hands, because not only have I cleaned it before this, but I will use some sanitizer. You could just say just bread and I'll hand you the bread. If you would like me to dip it in the wine for you and hand it to you to consume, that is just look at me and say, wine too, okay? But do what you're comfortable with. Again, we're not doing any shaming here, all right? The second thing is, it was brought to my attention after last Sunday that there might be some concern for people about handshaking. If you're not one who wants to handshake, it's completely okay to draw that boundary, and somebody comes up to you and say, I prefer not to shake hands, like at the peace, touch elbows or something, or just bow to one another, which is a wonderful sign of respect. But no shame in saying, I really don't want to shake hands. That's fine. And I just want to recognize that, because last week, all of a sudden, we were like, woo, it's good to see everybody. We started shaking hands. And I think some people were like, wait a minute, I'm going to receive communion now. I'm a little nervous about this. So no reason to be nervous. Draw those boundaries. Totally respect that, okay? The other thing I want to say is that we are doing our best to transition into being live in person and doing the cameras for people that aren't able to be here. And a couple bumps in the road on that, but just know that you most likely are going to be on camera, all right? So we have 2 cameras running, and at one point you may be on one of them. So just know that, okay? The last thing I want to say is last week I preached about things that are important for us to remember from the pandemic. The first thing I want us to remember is that the church is people. It's not the building. It's not the cemetery. It's not the grass. It's the people, first and foremost. Those other things are important to us. But none of this exists if we don't recognize that we, the people, make up the body of Christ. And the Apostle Paul does a wonderful job of reminding us of that. If you don't see your picture up here, that means I probably took it down because I was mad at you about something. No, just kidding, just kidding. What it means is we don't have a picture of you, and we need to get one. So I will have started taking pictures. Took a picture of somebody last week. I've had another person send me some pictures saying I'd like to update mine. If you don't like the picture that's up here, I'm happy to take a new one for you, and we'll update it. And we want to continue to grow this imagery of who we are as the body of Christ, okay? The second thing I want us to remember is we are first and foremost people who are servants as the body of Christ, which means we are every week going to keep in front of us the fact that we need to help fight food insecurity for those who cannot necessarily get the food they need for themselves. That's what this box is right here. It says Hispanic Mission at Good Shepherd because that's where we were taking a lot of our food. Hi, Sky. And but it's actually most initially right now going to be going with the backpack program or food share because the Hispanic Mission hasn't quite fully opened their doors yet. The same is true for clothing or for toiletries for people that may be experiencing homelessness, all right? So if you have something that you've been wanting to donate, we have clothing, toiletry items here, we have food there. I'm hoping that every week we can continue to give out of the privilege and blessedness that we have received, and we can continue to nurture those who are in a very precarious position at this point in their life. All right? So those are just things for us to remember. Offering plate is right here. If I remember, I will try to pass it. I would be remiss as a priest if I did not say, we want your money. I'm not going to joke about that. It takes money to run a church like this, to have the fabulous staff that we have, to make these things work. And so don't forget about your pledge. And if you haven't made a pledge, you could still just put money in the plate. That's completely acceptable. If I forget to pass it, it doesn't mean it lacks importance. The plate's right there if you'd like to drop any offering in there. I think that's everything for today. So let us now take a moment to focus ourselves and prepare for worship.